At least I got the scoreline right. At least I got the scoreline right. We should hopefully be joined by a boy forward in here, man. Now, let me start by saying this. Let me start with love, because I think you should always start with love and always start with positivity. I think, Aubameyang is underrated. And for many times, whenever people have said that, oh no, what about Harry Kane? What about Harry Kane? It's like, Harry Kane is from the street. Harry Kane is from the street. I've always said that Aubameyang is probably the best striker in the Premier League, and he's one of the best strikers in Europe. Because since Aubameyang has hit his striking peak, he's not fallen off. Because he left on a high at Dortmund, and at Arsenal, he's just been going from strength to strength to strength. That goal that he scored was a G. It was a G. That goal that he scored was a G. So let's just be clear here that Aubameyang is a quality striker. Now, before I even bring it down, let me just talk about Chelsea right now. Lampard is a rookie. And I am directing this to those stupid, dim-witted, thick-headed Chelsea fanboys who think that because Lampard was great as a player, he is exonerated from any kind of criticism. Now, I get it. I understand. The Pulisic, Chelsea's best attacking player, he goes down. I get it. Understand? Azpilicueta gave away a penalty. I get it. As Azpilicueta, he goes off injured, but there's a lack of match management, in-game management. There's a lack of direction, because what is the key in that word? Management is you have to manage situations. You have to know how to react and manage situations. Because people say, oh, what could Kante have done? Kante couldn't have scored. No. You have to, when you're a football manager, you're not just making changes in order to get a player who can score a goal. You're making changes to try and get your team in a position to get that G. That's what you're trying to do. So yes, of course, his hands were tied and so forth, but I'll be real with you. If Kante is on that pitch, Arsenal probably don't score that second goal. Because Kante is good at intercepting, tracking back, and snuffing at chances. And then I had one dumbass clown on Twitter who basically picked one time when Kante was behind in the midfield and not going in there. So, because there are some stupid idiots who want to try and defend Lampard over Kante. They want to try and defend a rookie manager whose only experience is Derby County over a World Cup winner. A World Cup winner, a two-time back-to-back Premier League winner. That's what they're trying to do. Because I think, as somebody even said on my stream, is that the issue is that even if Kante comes into it, that's not it, because the issue is Lampard. Lampard, cool. Transfer ban. No Zad. Young team. You got top four. Well done. Chelsea aren't here to pat you on the head. Chelsea aren't Wolves. Chelsea aren't Tottenham. Chelsea aren't Arsenal. Chelsea, this is a major European superpower. So I told Chelsea, we don't do it. FA Cup is all nice and good and cool and everything. Chelsea are a Champions League winning team. Okay, Chelsea have won numerous European titles. So for a European superpower, you have to come in as a winner. You're not coming in as... So this sentiment is cool. And as I always said, once Chelsea assemble a team, Lampard, you have your matching orders. You are not built for this. You are not good enough. You're not of the right standard to manage someone of the ilk of a Kante, of the ilk of a Strick. I'll be real with you. Bellerin got that ass against Rudiger. I'll be real with you. Christensen, anytime Christensen farts or he takes a piss, he's injured. The guy is made of feathers. I'll be real with you. I want to give my congratulations to Aubameyang. Not only for his 2 goals, I want to give my congratulations to Aubameyang because Aubameyang gave birth. He gave birth. Aubameyang gave birth to a lovely, healthy baby boy called Kotzuma. He gave birth to Kotzuma. And Kotzuma would say, you know what? I go give him birth. I go give him birth. And I go give him birth because he destroyed him. And that was a quality G. So I'm giving Arsenal that credit because, see, neither team really played that well. I think the best portion in the game was, I think, when Azpilicueta got injured and the second part of that second half. No, the second part of that first half, because Arsenal were really getting that ass there. So that was the period where, like, okay, what's going to happen? But the issue with this Chelsea, which is why it is so important that Ziyech can say what's up, is once the sick goes out, these guys are screwed. And again, I told you, Twitter are full of morons. Twitter are full of stupid people that don't have a brain. Because when it was announced that Willian wasn't in the squad, you had these idiots who were like, hey, no, Willian, with their gifts. Now look at what Chelsea look like when they just have the forward thrust of Willian. You're stuck with Mount, who goes around in circles. As I said, Mount is talented. He's not built for this. Lampard can go on to be a very commendable coach and manager. He's not built for this. Look, man, I am ready to put in the forfeit rule for Allgate. Okay, I'm ready to put in the forfeit. I will not apologize for how hyped I was on last night's stream. I will not, because I didn't foresee this. I didn't foresee, because look, guys, let's keep it real. Chelsea were unlucky. Azpilicueta getting injured, that's unlucky. Your boy, the Flick, getting injured, that's unlucky. Because if we would have had a far better game if Chelsea were fully fit. But guys, this is management. It's management. So Lampard, you can't be like, oh, look, sick. As we look down, that's it. We forfeit. No. You can still manage. You can still get the best out of these players. Because again, this is almost what your boy Danny was even saying to me, that do you have an ethos? Do you have an ethos you can fall back on? You don't have an ethos you can fall back on. But I still say to myself that through all this time, you couldn't bring on Kante. You had no period to bring on Kante to say what's up. I don't know, man.
Bro. Talk to me, man. What are you saying?
Okay, let me. This is why. Okay, look, let's. Because this is how I started. I started. We have to give credit to Aubameyang.
Yeah,
he's a very good striker. Like, he's a really good striker. Now, that first thing was harsh. The Azpilicueta thing, that's harsh. But you know what they always say, Ford? You put any hands on anybody in the box, you're asking for trouble. That's just how it is. Doesn't matter if it's vicious or anything. It just depends how it's interpreted. But once you put your hands on anybody in the penalty box, you're playing with fire. Now it's also about whether you get lucky or not. That second goal, that's quality. Now, Rudiger got messed up by Bellerin. Christensen, okay, good, you made the block. Now you now got injured making the block. So you got taken out of the game. And for Zuma, look, man, it is what it is, man. You got to pull your hands up. Aubameyang got him. So, general thoughts on what went down.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, congratulations to Arsenal. 14th FA Cup. They've extended the record now, so congratulations to them. Secondly, obviously, we are definitely going to have to dissect the referee's performance. I'm not one who, like, I think it's kind of weak to just always go and after a loss go and blame the referee. I really don't like doing that as a fan, to be honest. Rather just dissect the actual football itself, which is what we're going to focus on. But given what happened today, there's no way we can't talk about it. So we'll get onto that. And obviously now assessing what happened on the pitch. We'll start with Aubameyang. World-class striker, bro. World-class striker. Obviously, as we spoke about yesterday, we didn't cut off the supply to him. And he created those. I mean, those chances. He took them. He took those chances. He scored them goals, man. I mean, it was clear Arsenal's plan after the first 10 minutes was they couldn't play through the press. We were pressing them so high throughout the first 10, 15 minutes, getting so many turnovers. It led to the first goal as well. Great goal taken by Pulisic. And again, every time they got it down that left-hand side, they would play it over the top to the pace of Aubameyang and Maitland-Niles, and that's where the goal came from. Again, I don't want to get into the actual decision just yet, but obviously not the best moment of the defender from Aspilicueta. We can definitely say that for sure. And then Aubameyang obviously great running behind, takes the penalty. Oh no, it was dangerous. It was dangerous.
It's always be aware. It's always the ball over the top, man.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal. I mean, it was long ball Arsenal today, man. I mean, wow. I was a director. I've seen them in a long time, and you know what? I'm not gonna go on credit and discredit them and say that. Oh, shame on Arsenal for playing 19th century football or Mourinho football, or basically try and discredit their win for saying it was ugly tactics. No, this is the same. This is the Arsenal that we should have seen years ago. Again, when you haven't got the same amazing midfielders like you had with Vieira and Gilberto Silva, you can't rely on playing the great, beautiful football when you haven't got the defense or the midfield to really be compact and defend when you're not sitting that deep. So they should have been sitting deep like this for many years and playing more defensively. But yeah, it worked for them today, so fair play. And obviously Aubameyang, I mean, that second goal, obviously, just to break that down before we move on to the next part, I mean, just world class, bro. World class. Bellerin breaking through the midfield, Rudiger, shocking piece of defending from Rudiger. Christensen actually makes a pretty decent tackle, but then he's left injured on the floor, leaves that space for Pepe to bring in Aubameyang. And Zuma for me was excellent today, but at one moment he got skinned. Aubameyang, he knows Aubameyang well, as he said in his interview just after the game. He feinted to go to the right, went beautifully onto the left, and even then it still has to take a really good finish to beat Caballero from there. But it was a beautiful dink, and fair play. If you're going to win a title like that or a trophy like that, and it's going to potentially be your last game, that's how you want to do it. 2 goals in the final. Many great Arsenal strikers in the past haven't done that in the final for them before, so that puts him up there right now. If he was to leave right now, he's automatically a legend for them, a massive legend for the club.
Okay, so let's go into specifics in there. So, in your view, let's look at Arsenal. Did Arsenal play better and perform better than Chelsea? Or was it a case that they took advantage of Chelsea's mistakes?
Absolutely not. They were not the better team. It was a close game, I'll admit that. Again, end of the first half, they were heaping up a lot of pressure for the last 10 minutes, I would say there. First 20 minutes, we completely dominated. Should have been 2 or 3 up. Created a lot of chances. We were given a lot of problems with just our press. And we were playing through their press very comfortably. I mean, the first 50 minutes, I didn't want to tweet it out or say it, but I felt like it was going to be an easy whitewash like that. But I was super confident then. But I don't know. It just seems like after the drinks break, which for some reason came at 21 minutes rather than 23 minutes, we just fell apart after this. So, I mean, I don't know if there was some more like witchcraft. Maybe they spiked our drinks like they did with Tottenham back in I think it was, what was it? Oh, I don't know, whatever year it was that they spanked that obviously, you know, the whole chef they had food poisoning before the last day of the season. Yeah. After the 21st minute. Exactly, but after the drinks break, we seemed to struggle a lot with the tempo of the game. Maybe we went out too hard in the first 15 minutes, but yeah, like it was just okay. So focus on Arsenal's performance. They had good moments. Oh, yeah, I'll let you go.
Lampard. Now, I want to just get an assessment, you know, because maybe I'm wrong or sort of. Should he have brought on Kante? If yes, why? If no, why? Because see, this is my argument for Kante. Is because I was dealing with some morons I've always got to deal with on Twitter. Is that especially when you see that the dynamics of the game have changed, especially when you know Aspilicueta is off, the team structure psychology has changed. Arsenal now have the momentum. The midfield is the nucleus of your team. It is the heart of your team. Neither Jorginho or Kovacic are very good at defensive cover. Anybody who's played central midfield will know that you have to have a defensive part of your game. It can't just be about silky passing movement. No. Yes, that's all good. Anybody who's played central midfield will know that you have to know how to tackle, how to get back, how to track back. You have to know that. So Kante should have been brought in for all right, security, protect this defense that is now vulnerable without Aspilicueta. Because I know that once Aspilicueta went down, my God, Christensen came on asking for trouble. And eventually also what happened. So where do you assess Lampard's reaction and his usage of Windsor and just his reaction after after Azpilicueta got injured?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of what Lampard's done for us this season, but as I guess an advocate for him, it's not been a good day for Lampard at all. I think this was a bad day for Lampard. In terms of even the starting lineup, again, I said to you before yesterday, is all there on video. We should have went for the 4-3-3. I think it would have given us a much better control of the game. Obviously, having an extra man in midfield, it was just something that we lacked today. And we allowed Xhaka and Sebas to really get into the game and impose their will at times, even though I feel like we still controlled vast majority of the game. But again, why I've almost been out of trouble for words in this is because while Arsenal had good moments, I thought we were still the better team for most of the game. It's that there were just so many little moments that went against us in the game today. Obviously, decisions which we will get to, injuries which were just shocking throughout the game. It was just really unfortunate how many injuries we had today. And obviously, with Azpilicueta's injury, for me, it really seemed like it was going to open a door for us to go to a back four, bring on a midfielder, and then change the impetus of the game. Because even at that point, the tide was slowly turning, and I thought Lampard might have seen that sooner. So it was a bit of a shame that he didn't make the tactical adjustment at that point. And even then at halftime, you can see, okay, now we've survived that wave of pressure. Now let's try and change the game again. Maybe go with an extra midfielder in there, get some more attacking impetus, because we were struggling to get the ball to Pulisic for much of the game. But then every time he got on it, he was magnificent today. I mean, he was gliding past players at will. And even when he took that shot, I mean, the way he was playing, you felt like at any moment he could go and score once he had a chance. So when he went through one-on-one, I was expecting the net to ripple. But then once I seen that he injured his hamstring, then obviously that's when the game again took another turn for the worse. So it was just unfortunate.
He felt it to go before he took the shot. So that actually affected his shot and everything, because he felt it go, but he still took the shot as well.
See the problem with obviously you call him a rookie manager, which I think is a bit harsh, but ultimately in his tenure as a career, he's in his first 2 years, so essentially he is a rookie, and with so much to deal with, obviously, again, I'm not going to say no fans played a part, but obviously it's unique circumstances for your first FA Cup final, to have all these injuries going into the game. Obviously with Kante clearly being injured and not fit to play, which I'm assuming is why he didn't bring him on. I'm going to assume that he just left him on the bench, but maybe he wasn't fit to play. At the same time, if you're on the bench, and surely you're fit to play some part, right?
No. You see,
I know you say. I know what you say, HH. Yes, if you're there, if you're fit to be in the squad, you should be able to play. But apparently he wasn't in terms of Lampard, because how can you not bring on Kante in that game? There's no reason to not bring him on.
This is an FA Cup final, and the only other game is a game in which, basically, it is far more likely you can win this game on this trophy than you can turn around the game against Friday. So it's about going all out for this game. So if you're in the squad, if you're on the bench, you are fit enough to play. You are fit enough to play. And as I said again, leaving Jorginho and because this is why I'm confused. I'm confused. For so long, Jorginho wasn't being used. He was cast out. He was on the bench. Oh, he's been an outcast. Now he's introduced. And now he gets given the captain's armband. I'm confused. See, Lampard, what is it? Who is the defensive partnership? Are you with Jorginho or against Jorginho? Do you use Kante? Do you use Kante? Is it 4-3? Is it 3-4-3? I think the issue, and I think this is what even Daniel said, I don't think these guys have a philosophy. Because say all you want about Sarri. You know that come rain, come sunshine, we know what we always can fall back on. There is something that we've done that 10 men, this guy gets injured, we have something we know we can fall back on. This dude is changing formations game to game. He's changing defenders game to game. He's putting guys in different positions game to game. And you see, that is a rookie where, you know what, let's go for, like, you can't do that. Maybe you can do that for Derby County or for Stevenage or for Doncaster Rovers. But in high-tech football, you can't do that, you know?
Yeah. Now, of course, look, even me as a fan of Lampard and someone who was going to give him his credit for this season, because I think he's still done a very good job, I can still analyze and see his flaws, and clearly there were flaws today. Throughout the season, he's made many questionable decisions. One of them, which dropping Zuma at the time that he did, which was very strange to many Chelsea fans, because he was clearly our best defender, and now he's come back into the team. It's no surprise that we've now got top three because of him. And even in a day like today, yes, where Aubameyang skinned him, he was still clearly our best defender on the pitch. Even decisions like not playing Hudson-Odoi on the left, which is clearly his best position, and bringing someone on like Pedro, who's hardly featured post-lockdown, on before Hudson-Odoi, made really no sense at all. So again, there's many strange decisions that Lampard's made this season. And obviously, again, I don't want to give him much of an excuse because obviously, again, the injuries today, obviously the refereeing decisions, which we have to get to, because that was a very big contributing factor to obviously why Arsenal left in the FA Cup right now. But yeah, obviously, again, there's a very big room for improvement when it comes to Lampard in his managerial career. So, well, I guess we'll see with that. Obviously, today it's unfortunate that we've lost like we have, but it's not the end of the world. Again, winning the FA Cup would have been nice. Obviously, this is a much bigger game for Arsenal than it was for us, no doubt about it. But it's an experience that the young boys that we have out there have to learn from, and hopefully it's an experience that has shown Lampard, the board, the powers that be, that certain players in there are not good enough. Rudiger, I'm sorry, he is not good enough. If we're going to sell any something about this season, it has to be Rudiger. Alonso, we've seen. And one of the biggest pet peeves I've had for this season is that there's times that we can go to a back four, but we maybe choose not to because Alonso isn't good as a left back. He was getting cooked in that first half by Pepe, and putting him as a left back in a 4-back formation, he would have got cooked even worse by Pepe. So again, that's another player who just isn't good enough. Caballero today, would a better goalkeeper save that chance from Aubameyang the second one? Perhaps. Maybe he stands up a little bit taller to maybe save that. But ultimately, we know we need a better goalkeeper. I'm not going to blame him, but again, if we have a better goalkeeper, maybe he saves that. But ultimately, we've seen throughout this season, we need another goalkeeper as well. Pedro coming on, it's like, come on, like, bro, what is this? People say we want to challenge for a title. We got to get rid of all of these bums. Pedro, Alonso, Rudiger, Kepa, they all got to go. Barkley,
no. I'm going to give assessment on those. So let's look at a few of the decisions. So let me just first look at some of these super chats. So from and I know this is just best, and I know who you are. I
don't even want to see these super chats. I know what's going to happen.
I'm not reading that bitch ass name. Chelsea are garbage. Cancel CL game. This is training. Hashtag this is F you, man. From Martin Rosario, pop those bottles down. Amchi Critics says, congrats to Arsenal. Big props to Orban Arteta. Yep, congrats. And from Dexman says, hi, hello, how are you? How are you doing? What do you want? All right. The first, the penalty. Be objective. How do you view? Okay. Here's my thing with the penalty, and then let me see your views on it. Harsh. But let's start with this. Harsh. I'm being objective. That's harsh. If I'm a referee, a penalty is a huge decision. So my thinking of a referee is that it needs to be a serious, proper, clear-cut offense for me to give the penalty. That's too soft. But this is what you've been told and what you always know. Because remember, people are clever. Strikers are very clever, and strikers know how to put the ball. Because I bet this is what they say to any striker, any second player in the box. If you feel contact, be clever, arch your body in a way, and really sell the foul. As soon as you feel contact, he puts your hand on you or something, use it, go down, sell it to the referee. That's what they tell every attacker to do. That's what every attacker does. You have to know that. Because my thing about it is this. As people say, if you were better positioned, you don't need to do that. If you're better positioned and you read the ball over the top and you have a yard on him, you clear it away, or one step, tackle, boom. But because you didn't read it well, you were a yard behind, you needed to get a hold of him to get some leverage. You put a hand on someone, you're asking for trouble. How do you view it?
I think for me it's harsh, but at the same time it falls into that bracket of I've seen them given. Now, for me the major contact was outside the box clearly, and obviously Aspilicueta leaves an arm on him, which is why view it as, okay, there's contact in the box and you can bring him down. I'm not going to say VAR should overturn it because it's not clear and obvious that it wasn't a penalty. I just don't think that it was clear and obvious that it was a penalty. But again, you got to give credit to Aubameyang because it's not just world class moments you do on the ball that make you a world class player. It's also what you do in situations like that. And the fact that he won that penalty in that way by being smart, getting his body across and making sure that he fell down on that contact, it was smart of him because the contact in the box, that's not enough to really bring him down to the floor, is it really? So again, you got to give him credit to that. And again, it was an off day from our captain, which was really a little bit unexpected because he's been one of our best players since the lockdown. So disappointing for him to go out like that, to get obviously concede the penalty and then get injured. It was just, I mean, it kind of spoke true of our day today. It was just kind of all just went wrong.
It was a horrible day. So
there's other decisions we also got to get to as well because that wasn't just the only important one.
So Kovacic. So you see, my thing about this is this. So is that a yellow card? And guys, see, I'm not people, but like I'm being fully objective here. You see, referees, you have to be three-dimensional when you're playing this game and so forth, where as a referee, you have to, at the best, keep it 11v11. Now, a foul is a foul, a bad foul is a foul. But in your subconscious, if you're a good referee, at the best to my ability, I want this to be as much of a game as possible. Unless you force my hand, make a crazy challenge, then I'm sorry, you're off. Couldn't you have been like, Kovacic, you know you're in a yellow. I'm letting you off. Next challenge, you know what it is, bro. And Kovacic is like, all right, I've been giving my final warning there. I got off there. So that's what I said. I'm doing my best to. It's a final. It's a cup final. I'm doing my best to make this a game as fair as possible because studs weren't up. It wasn't a thing of where he's gone through and he's grabbed his shirt. If you look closely, I think Xhaka's foot actually almost lands on, is the one that actually comes on top of Kovacic. So it's not even clear that Kovacic even made the foul. So for me, that's harsh because for me, once that happened, game over.
Yeah.
No Azpilicueta, no Pulisic. You're missing your best midfielder. You're down to 10 men. Game over. It was game over. So what's on that?
I mean, that was the nail in the coffin right there. And I mean, it was a bad performance up to that point from Anthony Taylor, but that was just, I mean, wow. Like, I mean, I was surprised he didn't take up a stop and reveal an Arsenal top underneath because it was just shambolic. I mean, they couldn't have paid him to do a better job if they tried. It was that bad. I mean, and on the decision itself, I watched it back a couple of times. I mean, I even tried to see maybe if there was any dissent that he maybe said something after the foul was given, but nope, he didn't say anything Kovacic until we got recorded, and it was crazy that he gave that decision. And again, for me as a Chelsea fan going into the game, I was wondering why he was even appointed as manager. Because first and foremost, earlier in the season when we played Man United at home and we lost 2-0, the big talking point of that game was the controversy behind some of the decisions that happened where Chelsea had 2 goals disallowed and Maguire literally kicked Batshuayi by no word of a lie in the balls and didn't get a red card for it. Like clearly extended his foot into man's balls, into his genitals, and didn't get a red card for it. Ridiculous decision. So again, this is also a Manchester United-born referee, and the fact is, FA even have a rule where they don't let any referee the FA Cup final twice. He's already refereed the final, I believe, in 2014. So again, but because there's no fans in attendance, and there's also, you can't have your families there as the referees because you have your players' families there, the staff and all that, but not the referees. They thought, let's not hand this new opportunity to referee your first and only FA Cup final to a new referee. We'll hand it to Anthony Taylor. So they gave him this opportunity to referee this game when he realistically, because of the heat around him and Chelsea right now, he shouldn't have been fixturing in the Chelsea game for at least till next season, not in our biggest game of this season, at least in the FA Cup final. You shouldn't be doing it. So it was a shocking performance from him. I mean, even yellow cards that he gave to Mason Mount when it was Xhaka that kicked him. There's a free kick that Pedro should have had in the last 5 minutes that wasn't given. I mean, it was just a shocking performance from Anthony Taylor, man. And I mean, he couldn't have done a better impression of Overbo if he tried. I mean, it was horrible. Like, come on, man. I mean, again, Arsenal played pretty well. Fair enough, you got the trophy, all of that, but I mean, to win it like that is it's shocking, man. I wouldn't enjoy the trophy as much as I would like to if my team won it like that, because that was a robbery, bro. Robbery.
Okay, let me just hit a few more of the super chats. So from Afdeling Skill says, ha forward, bro. Semi's minimum is still on #OG8. Afdeling Skills, FU. Martin Rosario, I guess David Luiz made the right choice to Arsenal HH. Who's in the Champions League? Who's not going to be in any other league next season? Oh yeah, Daniel, I'm going to hit you with the link soon. From Daniel Henkel says, a reminder that this team travels to the Allianz. Don't remind me. I want to ask you, so what do you think?
Oh man, next Saturday is going to be funny, bro.
No, look, relax, chill. What do you think this does for Arteta? So this guy is how many months into management? First management job ever. Obviously, they suffered a bit in the league and so forth, but he's only been a few months in management and already has won like a semi-major trophy in the FA Cup. What do you think does for the confidence of Arteta and Arsenal going forward?
Oh, it's massive. It's massive. I mean, clearly he comes into the job with a bit of an ego. You can see it in the way that he speaks. He clearly believes in his philosophy. And again, he's been able to prove it. And ultimately, as much as you can get certain performances, like the Liverpool performance, the Man City performance, you do really need something to really show the club and the board that you need to back me. I am the right guy. I'm the right choice now. Go and back me in the transfer market. And he was able to do it. Fair play. He got the job done today. So it's a massive achievement for him. I'm sure the Arsenal fans are celebrating right now and the players too. Maybe it's enough to maybe give Aubameyang more reason to stay at the club. It remains to be seen. I mean, I said it yesterday, and again, there's nothing wrong with winning the FA Cup, but now you're going to have to play the Europa League next season.
Obviously, that's the thing, though, that do you think this is enough for Aubameyang to stay? Because as I said again, and I even tweeted out that Aubameyang might already be an Arsenal legend now. What he's already done in a short space of time for Arsenal, I think, is incredible. Absolutely. So the fact that your 2 goals, second of which is a world-class individual goal, led to you winning a trophy and an FA Cup, and what you've done under duress. Because remember, Wright had a great team around him. Henry had Arsenal's greatest team ever around him.
Yeah.
Aubameyang has probably, in the last 10, 15 years, had like the worst Arsenal team around him. And 100%. Despite that, finished top scorer last season and was a few goals away from. So people are. Let's even go there. World strikers right now, currently. Where do you rank Aubameyang? World strikers right now. Where do you rank Aubameyang?
I mean, so obviously to your first question, do I think it's enough for him to stay? I mean, judging from what we've heard from him, sources around the club, and even his father in that very cryptic tweet last week, it seems like they've already made the decision, so they're just waiting until, I guess, the end of the season, which is today, to, I guess, maybe notify the club. So I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know if it will be enough for him to stay. But again, if he was to stay, I mean, that's probably the biggest transfer that Arsenal can make this summer because he's integral to the club. He's going to guarantee you 20+ Premier League goals, which is, you can't really put a price on that, especially when you're Arsenal, given obviously their back line and their midfield. So it'll be important for them to try and keep him. So we'll see what happens there. But as for best strikers in world football, again, for me, you got to put Lewandowski at number 1. And for me, I would definitely say top 5. I think he's still below the likes of a Harry Kane. For me personally, again, some people may say, Aubameyang's won trophies now, but I don't agree. But yeah, I would say definitely top 5 strikers in the world for sure.
All right, so we're joined by our other Chelsea amigo,
What's up, DT?
Daddy T. Daddy T. So the Chelsea black trio are complete, man. Shows you that Chelsea.
I had the mask on to protect myself from the insidious, disgusting nature that was that performance. Like it was terrible. So I'm trying not to catch a virus,
Okay. So Daniel, who's protecting himself from the trash that we're seeing. Mm-hmm. General thoughts on Lampard. Do you think that? Let me present it this way. So let me hit the super chat real quick. Henkel says Lewandowski, Gnabry, Muller licking their lips. Daniel Henkel, relax. Org 8 is still a few days away. Relax, chill, relax. Hey, shush, just relax. I didn't say relax. Daniel, just relax, just chill. So let me present it to you like this. Was this a case of Chelsea were really unlucky, especially Lampard with the Azpilicueta injury and the Pulisic injury, or do you think that Lampard has to take some blame for poor decision making in the games in this game?
Well, I think blame can always be evenly distributed. I wouldn't put it on just one entity like, it's all on Lampard, it's all on Azpilicueta, it's all on this guy. It's like a team is exactly that. It's a collective of of individuals. You can put some blame on the management. You can put some blame on the players. You can put some blame on upper management if you really feel like it over the course of the season. If you're just looking at the game, I mean, Azpilicueta could have done better. I'm not sure what you guys have gone into particularly, but Azpilicueta could have done better in the first situation. It was very clear that Arsenal's intent was to put balls into that channel and to try to take advantage of a weakness that they saw, perhaps with Azpilicueta's pace versus Aubameyang's ability to kind of latch onto balls. It was a good pass by Tierney as well. So I don't think we can discredit Arsenal's ability to do things. The second goal, I mean, it's a calamity of errors where you look at, Rudiger makes a mistake in the first instance. Christensen comes a little bit rash. Maybe you could say that it was a foul by Bellerin because I think he did get him in the back or the leg or something like that. But obviously the ref, it looks 50-50, so fair enough. And then you have Kurt Zouma on an island once Pepe puts it through to Aubameyang, and obviously everybody thinks he's going to take it with his right foot. He does a clever shimmy or whatever it was, and he dinks it with his left foot. I mean, the best player on the pitch was Aubameyang, and it just so happens that he's in the most dangerous position. So he's the best player, and he's in the place that it can hurt Chelsea the most. So you can put some blame on Lampard, sure. I think in the first, or maybe it was the second league match where we saw that they switched to 4-3-3 and that gave them more control in the second half. Maybe he could have done that and started with that formation from the beginning. But I guess when he's had success with the back five, he just wanted to keep that continuity. I mean, Arsenal were just better on the day, and I think we have to give them credit. Also, we can get into referees and all that kind of stuff, but Arsenal were just better.
So again, obviously, because since you just, I want to just, rephrase the questions that I asked Ford. So, with regards to, where do you think it went wrong, specifically for Chelsea, if we go beyond just the refereeing decisions that were made? And where do you, so for instance, where do you stand with the whole Kante thing? Because me and Ford were going back and forth that Kante, should he have started on the bench? If you're fit enough to be in the squad, you should be fit enough to play. And it didn't speak in the sense that Kante didn't feature in the game when you knew that Arsenal were having the momentum and Kante was needed just to add some security in that midfield. You can't have security with Kovacic and Jorginho in that midfield, and also Lampard. I thought you hated Jorginho. So where do you stand on where was it? Did Chelsea lose it based off those injuries, or did they lose it based off of maybe something that could not have been done tactically with personnel wise?
I think I would assume that Lampard's real focus for Kante is that Bayern game. That the only way that I can turn that game around is if I have Kante. So I would assume that this game would have been, let's say Chelsea were up by two goals with like 60, 70 minutes. He would have brought on Kante to get some match fitness under him. I don't know if you can necessarily throw a player who hasn't played in 2-3 weeks into a cup final and the intensity that comes with that, because you're kind of just asking for him to get injured again. And I don't think that's something Frank Lampard can afford going, because the next season starts in like a month or two. So let's say Kante gets a hamstring injury that we saw with, I think Azpilicueta injured his, I think Pulisic injured his. I think that would have been quite risky. Obviously, it looks bad that he's on the bench, and people always think if you're on the bench, you can play. But not everybody who's on the bench every time can play, like meaning a full 90 minutes. So I think he probably would have been strategically used. But once you're down to, 10 men and you need a goal, why bring on Kante? It doesn't make sense. That would be my answer to that.
So again, I think for both of you guys, put yourself in the role of Aubameyang. So, captain of the side, he scored 2 goals, led into an FA Cup. Maybe there's renewed faith in Aubameyang, huge amounts of cheers, going to be a massive kind of celebration and so forth. Is this enough to be like, you know what? Let me, because wait, how old is Aubameyang now? I think he's
31.
Okay. 31. Any decision now is it?
Mm-hmm.
You sign a contract extension, that's it for your career. You make a move, that's your final move this career now. At 31, let's say a Barcelona are interested, Real Madrid are interested. So I'm going to come first to you, Ford. If you're on or Aubameyang, based on what has just happened now, and if you're him or you're advising him, do you stay with Arsenal and give this whole Arteta thing a good go, or do you like, I've given you what I've given you, Barca wants me, or Real Madrid wants me, I'm out, jetting?
There's a multitude of factors that play into what his decision is ultimately going to be. Now, it's given what he's spoken in the press, obviously sources close to the club as well as even his father in that cryptic tweet. It's not that they've already made the decision, and again, it'll be interesting to see what does happen. Now, personally, if it's me, and looking at what he's already on right now in terms of wages, he's on 180k, which, to put that in perspective, Kepa's on those same wages. So he deserves a massive bump in what he's getting paid. Also, bear in mind, Ozil, who's been doing his best Mary Poppins impression for Arsenal since post-lockdown, is on 350k a week. So, I mean, clearly he's probably looking at maybe earning at least 400k at Arsenal. Now, would Arsenal going to be willing to offer him that, or at least maybe 350 just to make him the highest paid player, joint highest paid player? I don't know if Arsenal can afford to pay him that. So, for me, I think the two main factors in what's going to ultimately make his decision, if he hasn't already made it, is one, what are Arsenal going to do in the transfer window? Are they going to invest heavily in terms of bringing in new players? Because they need a lot of players to improve the squad, because as good as today was in terms of how they played, pretty good, and obviously the result, amazing, they got the FA Cup. They need a lot in terms of actually getting back to where they should be, their rightful place, which is battling for top four. I mean, they're not going to win a league title, let's be real, but what they're known for, at least certainly in the 21st century, is trying to challenge for top four, and to do that, they're going to need a lot more in the midfield and in the attack. So, are they going to make those signings? It remains to be seen. But if not, then also you got to look at what teams are coming in for Aubameyang. Because if a Barcelona come calling or a Real Madrid, then you got to at that point look at it and say, I would want to go. But then at the same time, what other clubs likely are out there that are going to want to get him? Because obviously, I don't think Real Madrid are going to get a striker with Benzema's form this season. So obviously, Barcelona are an option, but I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of many teams that are going to be in for him and that can afford him in this current climate. So it remains to be seen. But my definitive answer, if Barcelona come calling, then you have to go. At that point, there's no way you can give up the opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, play alongside Lionel Messi and the team behind them in a complete structure, rather than risking that opportunity to go and play for Arsenal right now, which there's a lot of uncertainty about, despite today's amazing result.
Do we know when was the last season that Aubameyang played Champions League football? 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah, it would have been for Dortmund.
Yeah, but then didn't they have a season with Klopp where they had a shocking season that Klopp went to Liverpool? Like, has he played Champions League since then?
Ooh, because so he might not have played it in his last season for Dortmund. Then he might have played it the second last season for Dortmund.
Okay, so I'm thinking like you can't. I mean, well, obviously it depends on his personal ambition. But I would think if you're 31, Arsenal might give you a 2-3 year contract. Do you think in the next 2-3 years Arsenal are going to be in the Premier League top four? I don't think so. So like Forward says, if you have an offer from Barcelona, I don't know how you reject that personally, because the money's probably going to be comparable. Suarez is on his decline. You're obviously better. I think he might be a year or two younger than him. So, yeah, if that offer comes, you definitely go. If the offer doesn't come and Arsenal are offering anywhere around 200, 250, it's not the worst place to be. I mean, there are worse places you could be than Arsenal. And he's captain. Well, I mean, like, I'm thinking like you're living in London. It's one of the biggest clubs in England. It has the legacy.
Yeah,
you're captain.
You're not wrong. I just like to hate on Arsenal in it, but obviously it's kind of difficult today. But no, you're not wrong. It's not a bad place to be as captain. So
it's
no, because my thing about it is that because
you could be a Spurs player,
because I think of Henry. Because I remember for Henry, I thought, wait a minute, you can be a legend upon legend here if you just retire here. Because I don't, screw you, HH. I want to win myself a flipping seal. I can't do it with these dudes. Yeah. I'm going to take my talents to Catalonia, and it's worked out. And even when he did that, they still built a statue of him, and he's still seen as one of the legends. So for Aubameyang, will be like, bro, even if I leave based on what I have done, I'm already a legend for this club. I'm already a legend for this club. So is that enough for them to build a statue of him? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but let me just get to Super Chat, and I want to ask you guys another cue. from Just Person Twitter, never compare Zuma. What? Never compare Zuma to Lindelof, the Iceman. What kind of crack cocaine are you on, man? The heck? Man.
Oh my God.
With no Pulisic, Bayern are going to eat Chelsea for dinner with a complimentary Frankfurter. It's a bit harsh. Lampard has been using the scapegoat just to tell James to sit back when he was being exposed. Use 4-3-3. All right, that's from David Oladele. From Alex Ford, who says that Pedro came on for Arsenal. Howler. Oh, wow. Then it helps that Chelsea to match Arsenal's Chelsea to match Arsenal's aggregate scoreline. From Just Besting again says Sancho, Tony Martial, Rashford trio at the bridge. Rest in peace, CFC. Just Besting, you play in the Europa League, bro. Deal with Europa before you come and talk to me.
Can I just say that I've noticed the trend of these super chats, which is it's not to ask a question, it's just to make HH read out things he really does not want to read. So, fair play to your viewers, man.
Wouldn't you spend your hard-earned money to ask a very well thought out footballing question? Why are you using this to hate on me? A very nice guy who has provided you guys for amazing content over the years. Why would you spend money just to insult me and hate on me? I find that odd, very strange, but it is what it is. So guys, I want to ask you about this. Is Lampard? Why did he laugh? I didn't crack a joke. Don't be racist, man. Don't be racist. Is Lampard the long-term solution for this Chelsea side? Should he be given the benefits of the doubt based on no Hazard, transfer ban, finished 4th, FA Cup final? Don't judge me. Judge me with Werner, Ziyech, possibly Havertz, and so forth. So, confess to Ford, where do you stand on the whole Lampard thing? Because for me, I think he's a rookie. I think once Chelsea build a team, send him packing. Because I don't mean to be rude. This is just my assessment.
You're being extremely rude.
I don't mean to be rude. Whenever I see Lampard talking to Jody Morris on the sidelines, and whenever I just see them having a back and forth, it looks like two men from the road. It looks like if they got two men from the market under the bridge and they just brought them from the road to come and coach. I'm sorry, it just looks as if these guys look like total amateurs. Like when you see like Mourinho talking with like Ferreira, or you see Ancelotti with Zidane, or you see Klopp with Zidane, you're like, okay, when you see, it just seems as if, okay, did they just get some two boys from the markets just to come and do the kind of thing? That's what it looks like. I don't mean to rude. That's what
Boy.
It's just my perception. Whenever like Chelsea go down, I look at Lala and say, what kind of rubbish is this guys?
I feel you to an extent. It's just like what solutions are they coming up with, man? Like who knows? But okay. No, forward. Go ahead, man.
Is Lampard a long-term solution for you to really should Chelsea have faith with him long-term beyond 2-3 years, all that kind of stuff?
I mean, if I speak, am I in big trouble? Like, I mean, based on the things that you were saying, there's certain ways you could take those words, but I'm not gonna go there. All right, so here's the thing for me, right? So again, even as somebody who's greatly appreciate what Lampard's done this season, yes, it's a relatively low points total. Yes, at times the decisions have been very baffling. Many tactical decisions, and many even in-game decisions in terms of bringing on and taking off personnel. Like you can tell he's in his second season of managing, and certainly his first season at this level of managing a big club. But that being said, you've got to give him leeway for obviously the circumstances that he's taken his job on. Now, again, maybe he's got the job because how many top level coaches would have taken on this Chelsea team right now, which is very uncertain because you've lost your best player. There's no transfer window. You're battling against obviously Man City and Liverpool, who are locks to finish top 4. Going into this season, Tottenham would seem like a lock for top 4, being Champions League finalists, and obviously signing the likes of Dembele and Lo Celso in the summer. So these people thought that they were going to kick on. And then people looked at maybe Man United or even an Arsenal who were signed Pepe and David Luiz, and people thought they were going to be pushing on. So it was a very tough job to take on. And again, you have to look at the context going into the season, which was Chelsea weren't bound to finish in the top 4. Many people had them finishing outside the top 6 even. So he's done a great job in terms of getting us here. And for me, again, the jury's still out in terms of how good a coach Lampard can be, because he didn't come into a top team like Zidane did with that Real Madrid side that was a Champions League winning team, or Pep that came into a Barcelona team that had Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. I mean, come on, that's a different kettle of fish completely. But what Lampard is doing is, again, bringing it through the youth, which, again, we know as Chelsea fans is important because, again, HE says we got guys just from the roads. Jody Morris is not just that guy from the road. He's one of the most successful youth cup managers in history. Again, look at our track record in terms of winning youth cups and European cups at youth level over the last 10 years. It's unmatched, literally unmatched.
I am judging a book by its cover. I've not opened up the book to read. I'm probably judging the book by its cover, but yeah, go for it.
But see, bro, that's why I said if I speak, I might be in big trouble, because you're saying what it looks like. I mean, are we basing it off of looks now? I mean, bro, that's a bit tricky. But let's not go there. That's a bit too tricky, bro. I don't want to go. I don't want to go there, bro. I don't want to go there.
Land.
Bro, we know with the likes of De Bruyne, Salah, Sturridge. I don't need to go on from those names. How many players that we let slip through the cracks by having pragmatic managers who only wanted to get results for the now? Lampard's building a strong foundation for the future, which maybe he can lead us into, but certainly we're going to be looking like a much better side with the likes of Reece James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, if he can get over his injury worries, the likes of Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Mount. When you guys are all in their prime, they're all 20, let's say 26 to 28. We're going to be a completely different side than when all of these guys are in their prime and not where they are now, which we're having to rely on them to push forward a team that's got a lot of bums, like the likes of Alonso, Rudiger, Kepa, Barkley. We can go through the rest of the names. There's so many guys in there who are clearly not good enough for top 4 level. Like Lampard's got us into the top 4, so he deserves a chance to obviously take us forward. We'll see how it goes, and we'll be able to perhaps change our opinions based on more evidence that comes through of what he does with this team. So we'll wait and see. But again, to say that, to write him up as a rookie completely, like as if he can't improve, it is a fallacy, bro. Come on, man. Like, you're talking about a club legend here, bro. Have some respect, bro. Come on, man.
And that's the issue. Wait, before I come to that, that's the issue. Who shouldn't bow down and prostrate at the feet of Maradona?
It's not that. It's not that.
Wait. Maradona is the goat upon goats. Goat upon goats. For me, I say he's the greatest player of all time. But he was a break as a manager. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All because you're a legend as a player doesn't mean that we should give you a pass for your management. So it is what it is. Danny T, the kid.
Wait, no. Sorry. Before you go to DT, so I have to rebuttal to that quickly, which is, okay, I speak of Lampard kindly as I speak of Lampard in kinder words than I do most other managers that we've had, because of obviously the affinity I have with him for many years. In my childhood growing up, watching him be one of the best midfielders in world football, leading Chelsea to countless trophies. It was ridiculous how sport we were as Chelsea fans during that period. So yeah, I speak of him kindly, but I still judge him objectively as a football manager, what he's done. And yeah, there's he leaves a lot of things to be decided with some of his decisions, but he's still done a great job this season in terms of getting us into the top 4.
That's fair, he has. But no, like what I've always said is based on what was stacked against him. See, that's also you have to before I continue, let me just be clear here. Based on what was stacked against him, it is commendable what he did. Transfer ban, no hazard. But still, I'm not going to come out and say he was an amazing success. He was superb and so forth. Because I can still see that, this guy is a rookie. This guy...
I'm not asking you to say that, but I'm just asking you to say that he's done a good job this season, which you have. So I guess we're kind of on a level playing field.
Based on what's against him.
Okay. I have a question. Just what has made this season good? Is it the result of the season or what's happened during the season?
If I was to answer, and I'll give it to Ford, I said I didn't use the word good. I would like to use the word commendable. Commendable is second year in management, transfer ban, you've lost your best player in Hazard, and you've still come top 4 against Tottenham, who bought players, Wolves, who I think as a whole might actually be a better side with probably one of the best managers in the league. Taking all those things into account, I think he's done a commendable job. I can't just say you've been amazing because some of those losses were bad losses. So, but you've still done a commendable job taking all those things into account. If, let's say, Ancelotti had this season, I'll be like, but because it's Lampard and it is what it is, it's hard to just view it objectively. I mean, Ford, and your answer to that question, Ford.
I mean, HH pretty much answered it for me. But again, if you were to compare it to the likes of Ancelotti or Avram Grant, if you eventually were sacked as managers, you got to look at the teams that they were taking over. They were taking over a prime Chelsea team, which had the likes of Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Ballack, Deco. I mean, Anelka, like just an amount of world-class players that this team does not have. The only world-class players this team had was N'Golo Kante and Eden Hazard. And from last season, both of those guys were taken away because Hazard obviously was sold. Kante has been injured throughout this entire season. So yes, even though the points tally isn't great, at times the decisions have been questionable, to say the least. There's been some embarrassing L's. We've obviously lost this cup final now, which you can put some of the blame on Lampard's shoulders. I understand that. But given all the context, it still has been a pretty good season. And you achieved the main goal, which was to get back into the Champions League.
Okay, if Chelsea got one less point in the league, would it have been a successful season?
No, but it still would have been a lot better than what people have. It would have been a lot better than what people expected of us, which is to be challenging for the top four. But again, I'll be humble and admit it would have been disappointing, especially given the position that we were in January, February time. I mean, we were very clear about United and Tottenham.
I'm hesitant to go with the whole Lampard's had a great season. He's been successful, given the amount of points that Chelsea have dropped. Now, obviously, you can give excuses for why the points have been dropped. Kante isn't there. Hazard isn't there. You could say transfer ban, although Kovacic was a purchase, although Pulisic was bought and then came. So players have been added, not as many as we would like, but it's not a complete transfer ban in that sense. But we understand. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you we were talking about this on the podcast before, but this is the Premier League has sent 61 teams to the Champions League in the past 15 years. This Chelsea team is the 60th worst. And the only one that was worse than that was the one that won the Champions League in 2012, and they qualified, and Tottenham didn't get to go. So if you just look at the points total that has been accrued and goal difference, this Chelsea team has not been exceptional. It's just been the fourth worst team, or the fourth best team in a bad league. So I don't know how much, like, I guess the word commendable from Have Hope does suit in terms of, like, yeah, I mean, you weren't 50. What am I trying to say? When Mourinho finished, or when he got sacked in 17th, and then Hiddink came and Chelsea ended up with 50 points. Like, it's not a disaster on that level. But it's not a great season. I don't know how commendable, I don't know how laudatory I can be with this accomplishment, come on, man.
You what? Okay, wow.
Yeah, I don't know how. Basically, I don't know how much praise I can give him, given that the league has been trash.
I mean, maybe the truth lies somewhere in between what I'm saying and what you're saying, because I get it. It's a low points total. It is, but then you also got to bear in mind that, like, the seasons, it's hard to compare this season to previous seasons. I mean, in previous seasons, was the strength of the entire Premier League as good as it was, as good as it was back in the day as it is now?
Years. I mean, I'm giving you 15 years. I mean, that's a pretty substantial sample size.
But again, and I'm giving you, like, what you can compete with.
60 teams that have qualified, 61 teams that have qualified. This is the 60th worst. It's the worst that's qualified through English football, because the other one comes from Europe. So
I get that. It's just at the same time, you are battling what you are battling against. You can't battle against previous seasons. You're kind of battling against the field that you see.
So the reason I asked you if they got one less point, if it was a success, is because Lampard's bar is the lowest that it's ever been, and he crept up by 1 point over what we would deem a mediocre Leicester.
Yeah, I guess my one rebuttal for that would be: is this the worst Chelsea side you've seen in terms of just the squad itself, the personnel? Is this the worst Chelsea side you've seen in those 15 years? It probably is.
Perhaps.
I mean, I would say definitely, just because going into the season, I mean, did we know Abraham was going to score 15 goals for us? No. Did HH know who Mason Mount was? Definitely not. I mean, we've had to rely on people that people didn't know about going into the season, so it's a pretty good achievement.
people are saying that the success is the result of the season. So basically, Arsenal have had a trash season. They won a trophy. Our season is a success. People look at top 4 as a success. So Chelsea have had a bad season, but because you reach top 4, it's a success. For me, I feel like it's somewhere in between there. Like you have to have the points, the performances, and then the results, meaning the accomplishments, whether that's top 4, whether that's a trophy, whether that's winning the league or what have you. So I feel like people are kind of changing the narrative of what success is to fit this season, when in any other season, this point total wouldn't have equaled success. It's just success now. But if he gets 66 points in the same way next season, if you interpreted if you kind of copy and pasted this exact season to next season, and you gave him a transfer ban again, and he had the exact same results, the exact same teams, but 66 points wasn't worth top 4, people wouldn't say it's a great season. They would say, oh, Lampard, is he the guy? Is he this? Is he that? So you're tailoring what success is based off the information that we have now, not necessarily what the ideal definition of success should be.
All right, wait, let me just read the super chats, and guys, sending questions. So last 20 minutes, so we could just run with the app. So last 20 minutes, sending questions, hit the like button, smash the like button, and send in questions for us. We'll answer some questions in the last 20 minutes. So Pratik Gupta says, HHDD or Juju recall. Apparently it did. Screw that witch doctor. I'm going to change it. From Rahul KN, when are Chelsea going to see to their defense? Hopefully very soon. The defense is flipping garbage.
Question. Now that this Havertz thing isn't as guaranteed as people are making it seem, because I saw last week his sister was taking pictures in London. He's buying a house. He's doing this. He's doing that. But nothing is official yet. Oh, the Leipzig, the Leverkusen people, have released a documentary about his life or something like that, which is evidence that apparently he's coming to Chelsea or whatnot. Would you guys take that 90 million and wouldn't you put it in a left back or a goalkeeper ahead of trying to get a central midfielder?
Wait, let me just hit the super chat and I'm going to answer you. Gatlock says, nice to have someone here with a nice hairline for once. Gatlock, that's messed up. Ford, you should make Ford. That's true. Don't laugh. Ford, don't laugh. Don't laugh, man. Don't laugh. I mean, maybe I should say, yeah, man.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, it's because his hairline was so good. Living with his hairline, so therefore, if that's the image you want. Okay. So to answer your question, you see, for sure, 100%, Daniel, I would not spend 90 million on Kai Havertz. Now, I don't know whether Abdullahi was smoking crack. He must have been, because Abdullahi swore to me that Kai Havertz has the same flair that Zidane has. That his flair is Zidane-esque. And he was comparing him that he moves like Zidane. And I said that Abdullahi...
You can top up any central midfielder's highlights and make them look like Zidane if you want to. Because I remember I watched a highlight compilation of... who's the Everton midfielder? Spanish dude. Gomez. Or is he Portuguese?
Yeah, he's Portuguese. Andre Gomez. Portuguese.
Yeah, I remember watching a highlight tape of him, I think Valencia or one of those clubs. He looked like Zidane. All you got to do is put the right music and a roulette, and anybody can look like Zidane. So maybe Abdullahi got tricked, is all I'm saying.
Okay, so
yeah, so
basically 100% no. The Havertz thing, it smells of João Felix. Maybe not to the same extent, because I still say João Felix is a victim of a system that doesn't work for him. But my thing about it is that every hype. Take that 90 mil, put it on a defender. For sure. Ziyech, Timo Werner, that's a very good jumping off point. But 100%, look at what we're now learning is that every position in football matters. We always knew that, but what Van Dijk showed is a defender can drastically affect your team. It's not just about, no, we'll just outscore. Let's just get goals. Sometimes you just need to win 1-0. You take the lead, have a defender who is a leader, direct the back line, take that 1-0, we're good and we win like a top defender wins you games. So for me, I think that it would be far smarter to take whatever Havertz money that is, put it in on a top tier defender. Because I think, as someone said, he says that Zuma is a good defender. Put him next to VVD and he'll look world class. He's a beta, not an alpha. This is what I've always said about the defenders. Varane next to Militao or Nacho isn't very good. He's out of position. He's clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing. Put Varane next to Umtiti. He looks world class. Put Varane next to Sergio Ramos. He looks world class. But Varane, which people call one of the best defenders in the world, next to a defender who isn't as good, he can look wavy. Zuma needs to be partnered with a top-tier defender. So if you get a top-tier defender with Zuma, you have a great back line. But the issue is that Zuma is having to be the main better defender, and that is problematic. So whether he's next to Christensen or next to Zuma, because Zuma and Christensen aren't so great the defenders, and Zuma is not really the leader kind of defender that a Koulibaly is, a Ramos is, a Van Dijk is, that's where you see these issues come through.
I mean, just for me on that, I mean, again, it's hard to tell if Zuma isn't going to be an alpha in the future. Again, he's still only 24 years of age. I mean, for me, the problem right now is he's having to be the alpha and the omega for this backline, because Rudiger, as we've seen, has been dead for time. And Christensen, as we've seen today, coming off the bench, clearly Lampard doesn't trust him that much. Just leaves a lot to be desired for me personally. So I think it is a place that we can reinvest in for sure. Again, there's rumours of us buying Declan Rice for 80 million, which maybe is a better place, is a better well spent money than obviously spending 90 million on Havertz. But having said that, like in this situation, maybe we can have our cake and eat it. Maybe we can get Havertz for 90 million and then go spend another 80 or 90 million on another defender, because guys, bear in mind, we didn't spend any money last year. We're still getting that Hazard money to come in. Potentially going to be getting the sales of Morata and Bakayoko to come in. We're going to get another 40 million from all these youth players that we're siphoning out on the loan army. So we're going to have money to spend.
Over 100 last year. They spent over 100 last year, didn't they? If you add the Pulisic for 60 and Kovacic for 50. But then
technically, which is a good point, but the Kovacic money would
cancel that out. But I'm thinking maybe the Hazard purchase would cancel those out.
Plus, we still got some money in the club that we're going to be selling this season as well. The likes of Alonso and Emerson might go for probably 40, 50 million combined. Potentially, if anybody wants to get Rudiger, Alonso will be worth a lot of money in Spain, in my opinion. But again, that remains to be seen. But obviously, likes of Rudiger might be sold. Certainly, Barkley is going to be sold. So there's money to be respent in this squad, which is why, again, going back to our early argument, there's a lot of questions around Lampard now. You can maybe say that maybe it's an overrated season. You can maybe say it's an underrated season based on what he's achieved. But there's a lot of questions for sure. However, we're going to get a lot of those questions answered next season when he gets his own players in, because there won't be that inbuilt excuse of, what can Lampard do with his own players? Hopefully, Kante will be injury free next season, so he's going to have Kante, Ziyech, Werner added to this team, and we're going to be rightfully expecting more from next season. I mean, minimum we got added extra, I would say 10 points to our points total right now. So,
can I ask what happens next season? Can I ask one question? So let's say Havertz comes in. What happens with Mount?
Oh, he gets benched.
Again, if your HHU doesn't rate Mount at all, then yeah, he gets benched. But again, maybe it's just more competition for places. We'll wait and see. But yeah, I think it would be a case of Mount or Havertz. And again, we also have to bear in mind, it's not just a guarantee you're going to slot straight into the Premier League and play well from the off. So it could be potentially both of them fighting for that position, and maybe Havertz gets it after a year of acclimatizing into the league.
I ask because Lampard really seems to like playing Mount because of what he does for his press. But once you give Werner and Ziyech to the front three, placing Mount in the front three doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, at least not in big games. So that means Mount has to become a midfielder, but Kovacic and Kante are guaranteed starts. And if you buy a player for 90 mil, then that means Mount then goes to the bench. So I'm curious whether Lampard wants Havertz that much. I wonder. I wonder. Is this a Lampard thing or is this a club thing? Because
so I can't lie. That was my yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so that was my initial skepticism to this actual signing back in April when it was rumored, because my main thing was I've seen how much Lampard talks about Mount, and I've seen how much he's even been talking about Ruben throughout this season. He's obviously been injured, so I feel like his main plan was really to have Ruben be the main starter for this season. Obviously, he got that injury at the end of last season before the Europa League final. So it is an interesting one. I mean, if you get Havertz, then it really pushes Mount down the pecking order, and also Ruben if he does ever get over his injury issues. So it's an interesting one. But at the same time, Man City have had the likes of Sane, Sterling, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva for many years. So there's no reason why we can't have a plethora of talent in the attacking areas, and we certainly need it based on what we've seen this season.
All right. From your boy Yasser said, who says that Napoli came out and put a 81 million price tag on Koulibaly, yet Chelsea are going to pay 90 mil for Havertz. Now, I don't know how true that is, because my belief is that De Laurentiis has said that
you can justify this though, Double H, because you could say Havertz is like 21, so you're paying 90 mil for his potential and then his sell-on value. Koulibaly is the finished product who's 27, 28, 29. You pay 29 for, there's no resale value. So Havertz might even be a better investment, depending on how good he is, than a Koulibaly. But in the short term, obviously, I think if you give most Chelsea fans the option, would you take Havertz or Koulibaly? The smart ones will go with Koulibaly.
Oh no, but then the deluded ones will say, "Oh, Kai Havertz."
Yeah, of course, because that's like the sexy attacking football. He'll do some roulettes for me on FIFA signing, you
know. From Totally Awesome. Why not Totally? What the heck is Totally? Okay. Maybe his name is Totally. Chelsea should consider the forfeit rule on all gates.
No, guys. Why take the flight? Honestly speaking,
that's what I've been saying.
It's in Munich.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
It's a waste of gas. You're risking lives. Actually, there's a global pandemic. You're down 3-0. There's actually really no point to go to Germany, except just to be finished off. So the forfeit rule, I think it exists, man. Go for it.
I mean, my proposal is just that why don't you just find 11 fans around the world that you can safely quarantine for a few days, send them out to Munich and let them have fun. Like, let them go and play Bayern Munich for 90 minutes. Why do we need to waste our players out there?
Wait. So you want Wikipedia to record a 30-0 aggregate score? Because that will go on record, because that's still an official UEFA license game. So you want 15-0 aggregates to be recorded on Wikipedia.
You know what I would prefer? Just get all the Chelsea legends that you can. So check and goal, Ivanovic right back, Cole left back, Terry, Carvalho, Makelele, Ballack, Lampard can play. Yeah. Drogba, who do we want left wing? Maluda, and right wing Joe Cole. Just put those 11 out there, and let's just see what happens.
Like, I mean, it sounds good, but do I really want to see my heroes get slaughtered like that? I mean, I don't know about that, man. Like, for nostalgic reasons, that's gonna hurt.
Would a Chelsea legend team get smoked? Would they get smoked?
None of them are over the age of 44 or 45. Maybe Makelele could be. So I'm just saying, like,
who's going to be the manager then? Who's going to be manager? Is it going to be Jody Morris, or do we get Mourinho back for one more stint?
Grant? I'm sure. I'm sure Di Matteo's free. I'm just saying. Like, I would rather watch that than watch what I know is going to happen. It's going to be another bad game. It's going to be another 2-0, 3-0. Like, why did we show up?
No, for me, I think. Like, look, I was hyped last night and everything, but I think this game has sort of humbled me. Yeah, look, I've been humbled, and like, it could be bad. It could be bad. And yeah, look, I think
you needed today for you to realize August 8th is going to be bad.
Man, let me land.
Arsenal are degrees less than Bayern Munich. Like multiple degrees. People are like Aubameyang's the greatest. Lewandowski has 50 goals this season. So if it's not going to be good.
Where's your hope? I thought I'm a complicated Chelsea fan. You are two hardcore Chelsea fans. As two hardcore Chelsea fans, where is your hope?
Notice what Forward is wearing.
You have no faith?
Notice what Forward is wearing right there. I have a regular gray.
Daniel, you said that if you could have chosen your father before you were born, it would have been Jonathan Terry. You said that to me. He said to me, "Look, if I could have chosen a guy to father me and tutor me, would have been Jonathan Terry." From Just Person says that, "Sorry, you bastard, sack him. Cristiano does not deserve this." Cristiano is a flipping loser, man. Okay, please don't.
What about Cristiano is like, this stream has nothing to do with Juventus, nothing to do with Cristiano, but someone paid you to say his name. That's wild.
No. Do you know what it is? I saw that there are people who the obsession they have with these players, I think, is quite frightening. And what I always say is that it doesn't matter how obsessed you are, they are World Cup bombs. They are international bombs. And they will never be able to sit at the same table as Maradona, Pele, and Zizou because they're a bunch of World Cup bombs. So you can praise them, drop up and down. Cristiano has scored what? 700 goals, 60 goals. This is what I say to myself, and people can call me crazy. Aha, thank you. It's so good to hear. Cristiano's move to Juventus is as weak as Kevin Durant's move to the Golden State Warriors. It's the same weak move.
No.
Yes.
No, because Ronaldo moved to win them something. Durant moved because he knew they would win him something. There's a difference. Like Ronaldo's there to complete a mission for the team,
which he hasn't.
Durant went because he knew they would complete the mission for him. That's a different psychology.
But it's similar in the sense of you are going to a team who you know have already
Juventus haven't won the Champions League since 1995. When was the last time Juve won? 95?
96.
96.
I think it was 96.
Durant left his team to go with the champions 2 years removed. All they needed was to get over LeBron. So it's not apples to apples. But I understand that you're leaving one superpower for another, and you're kind of like bandwagoning Scudettos. But Ronaldo's there for the Champions League, and they haven't won that in many people listening to this stream's lifetime. So not the same.
So a reminder, Bricalaga will be attending the Allianz. No, he won't. It will be Caballero starting. Because I've already said, guys, I'm not going. Okay, look.
If Lampard wouldn't play him in this game, he's not playing that game.
So guys, so you want me to give up on Allgate? Is that what you want me to do?
I just think you should, like, this is something that shouldn't be on your channel. It should be something that you hold close to your heart, that you don't tell people about until it happens, if it happens. That's pretty much it. Obviously, you have a YouTube channel to run, so agendas abound. But what do you gain from that, as Snoop might say?
And talk about Pulisic. So how do you guys rate? For me, I'm shocked about how good Pulisic is, because
I'm worried now.
Oh, how do you mean?
Because he pulled his hamstring and then kept running so he could take a shot. I'm like, that's gonna do even more damage.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna be out like 2-3 months. Yeah. If he's out 2-3 months, that means he's missing 4, 5, 6 games to start next season. Yeah. I don't like that. And he's been Chelsea's best player. Maybe, I was gonna say maybe with Willian, but no.
He's been, Pulisic, what I always say with Pulisic is like, for me, he's already the best American player ever. Facts. Like, whenever people say, Clint Dempsey, Landon Donovan, I'm not talking about statistics or so forth. Ability-wise, I not see when you bring in a keeper, it's different because the keeper is a whole different discipline. So I respect what Tim Howard did, but in terms of a footballer ability, outfield player, Pulisic is easily the best football player that America has ever produced. He's really Croatian, really, but America, who is really American, really? That's a whole other discussion for another day. But Pulisic is 100% the best player that America's had, and I just think that it makes things much more interesting now because he has to be a starter, especially if Werner and Antony are coming in. So, I mean, do you guys agree that he's the best American player ever?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not as keen to make grand opinions like you are, HH. But I mean, I guess I have to agree.
How grand is that?
If we're talking outfield players,
outfield players,
then his only other competition is
Claudio Reyna
and Landon Donovan.
Dempsey, Landon Donovan, Brian McBride. DeMarcus Beasley.
Lalas was
okay. HH, on this one, I'll give it to you. He is the best one.
I'm pretty sure.
When you think about the players, you're like, these guys weren't.
Are we saying Josie Altidore?
What's the name of that dude with the bald head? Whose dad was the coach?
Oh, Michael
Bradley. He was good. Michael Bradley.
Did he play for Roma?
Yeah, he played. Okay. It's like he was good enough to actually cut it in Syria. He was
decent. But yeah, I think you're right. I would have to agree.
Yeah, I think just the main talking point here is just hopefully he's not injured for too long, because it's a worrying trend that Chelsea get where our young players, after some good run of form, they get injured for a long period of time. It's happened to Ruben in previous years, same with Hudson-Odoi. So hopefully it's not too long, because again, for the last couple of months he's been ridiculous.
He's been quality. So final words before we round off. So let me give final word 4 just to round things off before we head out.
Anthony Taylor's a pagan, first and foremost. Arsenal, congrats on the FA Cup, but enjoy also Europa League next season. Congrats on that. You're not going to give Arteta a week to work with this team week in, week out, so we'll see how that works for you guys. The Wolves are going to fall off by December, guys. It's going to completely fall off. And as for us, it's still been a good season. It's been, I guess, maybe you would say a great achievement getting top 4, but probably not great in terms of how we've actually got there. I think there's still a lot that can be worked on, and hopefully we're going to make the right signings to go and do that in the next season. So, yeah, the season is done at this point. Obviously, don't send anybody useful out to Munich. There's no need for that. That's just unnecessary. And yeah, hopefully we can go and get over some really good signings. We definitely need a left back. Definitely need to get a goalkeeper. Those are priorities. And I think we do need something in the defensive areas, but again, if we get someone like a Declan Rice, who I've pretty much done a 180 on, I'll be real. I've done a 180 on Declan Rice. He's looked really good, and he's shown the physical and also mental improvements that I think, for me at least, would make him a good addition to this Chelsea squad. Now, yes, at 80 million, it's quite expensive, but
why would you pay 80 million you already had? That's the weird thing about Rice.
8 million for Rice?
No, it's one of them ones where it's tough.
All you had to do was send him on loan 5 times.
80 million for Rice?
So don't get me wrong, it's easy to say that, and it does look bad on paper. You're paying 80 million for somebody you already had. It's annoying, I get it. But at the same time, United have to do that with Pogba. There's many situations you can go down for years where players have to go and do it.
Down the road, so.
Declan Rice is a good player, bro. He's a good player. And also, he gets it as a Chelsea born and bred player, fan growing up. And I feel like him alongside Zuma, now that's a partnership you can get behind. And again, also with Kante's injuries as well, somebody can slot into DM. So again, you can get maybe someone like a him, or maybe someone like a Sumari is going to be a lot cheaper. There's plenty of options out there. So let's see. There is no
Rice that is worth 80 million pounds. Not Basmati rice, long grain rice, sticky rice.
Look, Daniel, round off your points. Oh God, Daniel.
So you guys don't rate Lampard, you don't rate Morris, you don't rate Rice, you don't rate Rice. I mean, I'm seeing a bit of a common theme here, guys.
Your love isn't even worth 80 million. Oh, anyway, my final words. This was an anti-black result. Okay, I feel really bad for Nuno. Wolves deserved European football, and because Arsenal won, now Wolves aren't in European football. So now Wolves have lost money. So yeah, that's what I feel about this. We could have done it for our African brother Nuno, but we didn't, which is kind of consistent with this club's ethos. But it is what it is.
On that note, guys, peace out. Stay true. Hashtag freedom. Become a Patreon member. Get access to my blog. Get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast, the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.